Hi, my name is Baekho Hyun in South Korea. Today I'm going to talk about the religious landscape in South Korea these days. So actually the Christian believers and Buddhist believers are decreasing in number these days very rapidly. I don't know why, but mostly the South Koreans are getting disconnected with their so-called traditional religions. In other words, I believe that's because those religions cannot give the sufficient the teachings or assurance of salvation to South Koreans. I guess this is almost the same in most developed Western countries these days. In a sense, they used to experience the things in advance, and then I think the South Korea is in the same path. In response to those trends, I witnessed a lot of the so-called meditation movements are mushrooming in South Korea these days. It's really difficult to define who they are, so what kind of the teachings they have, but actually anyway under the umbrella of the word the meditation, so they gather some people all over the country, and more practitioners of meditations are increasing in number. And then I don't know that is good or not, but generally speaking, that's good, rather than doing nothing about our spiritual life. Especially the Buddhist camp, the Buddhist monks and the Buddhist scholars claiming that the real archetype of meditation can be found in Buddhism, and then the Buddhist meditation is the supreme one, and they believe we just don't need to follow their teachings. But most of the young generation in South Korea are not to seem to take that direction, and on the contrary, they are more focused on the very vague notion of the meditation movement in South Korea, mostly from the overseas or sometimes from self-establishment meditation movement here. So what's the point of this kind of situation, and what's going on in this country? That means that in the future, the foreseeable future, we can see the totally different landscape can come to South Korea. Just like the more developed Western countries, I believe traditionally South Korea has been classified as the Mahayana Buddhist country, or more recently as Protestant countries, but no longer we can regard South Korea as such. And then this kind of the destruction of the traditional landscape can collapse very fast. And possible future, maybe in 10 years, we can see young generations in South Korea are no longer profess they are Christian or they are Buddhist, but they are saying that they are no, but we just follow some meditation or the movement, or that any form of things that can give us inward peace. So what's the connotation of this kind of situation? So that means that I believe Christianity in South Korea and Buddhism in South Korea, I believe they have to change. They have to change. Otherwise, they will just losing their believers a bit year by year, and then ultimately there will be just some the vague, the outward, the tradition, without the real believers of the religion in South Korea. Especially the reason of why the young people don't want to take the teachings from the Christianity or Buddhism in South Korea, partly because of the priest, so-called priest, the Christian pastors or Buddhist monks. They think they are too secular. It's really difficult to find any the real religious leader with conscience and good behavior and good teachings. Instead they think they find so many the secular pastors or secular the Buddhist monks. They are just seeking after their own profit, material, or sometimes spiritual. By spiritual I mean they just want to get some worldly fame about the spirituality, the high level of spirituality from the faith. Recently there is a very funny story in Buddhism in South Korea. There was a Harvard graduate, the Buddhist monk. Actually he's American. He was born in South Korea, but his citizenship is American. I don't know how he became the citizen of U.S. citizen. Yes, but outwardly he always put emphasis on the teachings that the Buddhist believers should be very fragile. They must not seek after worldly richness, material things. But it turned out that actually he is very materially rich. He owned everything, every necessity. So all necessities. So in Korean we usually say that 무소유. 무소유 means that no possession, but we call it full soyu. Full soyu in English means full possession. So it's a very ridiculous situation. But simply speaking, the religious world, religious values in South Korea has degraded so much. So I believe there should be any kind of reformation. Otherwise, the spiritual lives of South Koreans will getting worse and worse. But I believe there will be a new and good movements for the coming age and for the generation. Even though seemingly always everything looks like getting degraded, getting worse and worse, but in Christianity we know that God always is on the plan to reserve some good things. In Buddhism also there is a teachings that in the last days still there will be the last resort or something like that. So I'm not so pessimistic, but I'm optimistic. Somehow South Koreans will seek after, will find any the way to recover our spirituality. Thanks for listening. See you again. Thank you.